Greetings viewers. So today's subject for review is on a knockoff of a figure that I feel is greatly justified. Right over here, Studio Series Ironhide, the Baiwei one. Now, when he was released, the MPM version was only recently announced. You may be asking, why am I mentioning the masterpiece? Well, at that point in time he was Voyager price. It made sense because he was only recently released. Now, however, you will have a hard time finding him for under $100 complete. I can find the MPM one for under 100 with all of its shit and box. So let's say, hypothetically, you want an SS14 Ironhide. Obviously, you aren't going to pay those prices, no one's that desperate for a toy. What are your remaining choices? Well, you are staring at it. Baiwei's Tw-1026B Weapons Master. The price for this guy cannot be unmatched. 20 plus SGD if I remember correctly. At such a generous price, what's the catch? Well, for one thing, out of the box some of the paint has already been chipped. As you can see here on the right knee, there's some scuffing right over here. And on the left, there's a fingerprint right over here. You may not be able to see it on camera, but this is a fingerprint. I can live with the chipped paint. I can just pretend they're battle scars, and for the price I paid, I expected some of it to be of low quality. But the fingerprint, damn. Moving on from that, another stuff to look out for is joint tightness. Now, the left arm for me is looser compared to the right copy, but it can vary from person to person, so the problems I might have might not happen on yours. It's just something to look out for. But I still really like this guy. The Baiwei's Ironhide design is more visually distinct and interesting compared to his blocky G1 counterpart. I don't think this reconveys what I'm talking about because of the greebles he has as a holdover from Siege, but it's not a really interesting design, unlike this, because I really like the car cable management the designers did to give us a more unique silhouette. The front of the truck's situated like this. You had stuff like the chest, like the front of the car being the chest, but not in this way. Not split and then positioned in this manner. And the head is not bad either. This robotic pug face looks like he's done with your shit and wants to start blasting. The silver paint also helps expose the mechanical greebles the original designers had worked on. Let me be clear on that. My praise for this design goes to the people who originally worked on this. But what I think is the best part of this set, as you may have already noticed, this was already split because this has the DNA design kit pre-installed. In fact, every single one of Baiwei's knockoff Ironhide has that kit pre-installed. That is great because it means that you don't have to hunt down that upgrade kit that's also quite pricey. However, there is something to take note of. My version is the regular set. It comes with the guns he had from Dark of the Moon and these knives, which I assume also came from Dark of the Moon. In total, like I already mentioned, it was like 20 plus SGD. For just a bit more money, you can get this guy plus his 07 arm cannons and the rest of the DNA design weapons. And all that for less than a Voyager price. It's only just a bit more than a deluxe from where I'm from. Deluxes here are like $38, and the kit with all the extra weapons is like 40 plus. That is amazing. Something that I would like to mention that is more inconvenient than a downside is that posing can be confusing at times due to his design. It also stems to the Baiwei's one, and the arms are solely the reason. There are lots of joints available at play, which includes a wrist swivel. Very nice. But with the way it's angled, it takes longer than usual to do certain poses, and it can get a bit confusing at times figuring out where exactly you are. It's not the worst thing out there, and everything else is nice. It feels solid, especially due to the fact that this is actually a knockoff, and all the joints are very nice to handle. And this thing even has an angle tilt. It wasn't standard back then. It is now, but it wasn't. That's nice. I think the transformation is very interesting. How the card chunks shift around, the jagged edges being hidden away to smooth surfaces. X-Bron head, as stated by Tw. Hello. But the final part, which is tabbing these into this part over here, is quite tricky, lining the panels up, and the end result for my copy feels like it's about to explode at any minute. Well, that is a my copy situation. However, the GMC top kick truck is the perfect odd mode for Ironhide. Just pickup trucks in general, actually. To me, he's a rough and gruff war vet with a keen interest in weaponry, so his odd mode should be able to convey that as well as hauling all of his shit, in which you can actually do that. Just tab them in right over here. I mean, it's neat that you can do all this, but I don't know how useful it's gonna be. Just stop it here. Yeah, you can do stuff like this. It's fun, but I don't know how useful that would be. A Nissan Vanette, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of what I've said. I've seen them in real life, and every time I see them, I think of G1 Ironhide, and I think how uncool that is for someone like Ironhide. Sure, there is a gap here, but it doesn't bother me as much as I thought. It's there, but it doesn't really bother me. Interesting. But what I find funny though is the GMC logo clearly sculpted into the grills. It's not painted for obvious reasons, but the fact that it's there is very, very funny because the back is where the Autobot logo would be, but here is sort of a vague shape that looks like the Autobot symbol. So this basically means that their Baiwei is more afraid of Hasbro than GM. Funny that. Just wanna have United Cup right over there. So now I obviously highly recommend this set right over here, or their version with more weapons. In fact, get the one with more weapons. I really wanted Baiwei's Ironhide, but scalpels are the living embodiment of greedy pigs. Quality is also fairly consistent from what I can tell. The issues I have are minor in comparison. Just pick whichever you want. I do recommend the one with more weapons. The shop that I use on Shopee only had this version, so I just went with that. I hope you enjoy playing around with him and also found this review helpful in any way. With that, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.